love bugs, it's Raven and I am back again. So for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. Feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you subscribe, that allows you to get the notification every time I drop a new video. So feel free to do that if you like my videos. So this video actually, I have to definitely shout out Alice Webb. Her name on YouTube is Alice Webb Urban Fit Mom, and she made a video quite a bit ago saying pray for the job that you want. And I want to give you guys the background of kind of how I got to this, but I don't want to be too long, and so I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. And I know I talk really fast at times, so I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can and still talk slow enough that you guys can understand. So, about a year ago, I watched Alice's video called Pray for the Job You Want. And at the time, I graduated in August of 2016. I had a job interview the day, literally 2 hours after my last final. And I ended up getting the job, but I turned it down because, for one, they couldn't tell me where I was going to be located. So I was like, well, I don't want you to send me somewhere and I don't know where I'm going, or it'd be too far, especially with their crazy hours. It was also going to keep me from going to church, which I'm not like somebody who's so religious, like I gotta be at church every single Sunday, but really there wasn't any time for me to go to church except for once literally once a month, and that included during the week too. So it was really crazy schedule, and I just didn't have any peace about it. So even if I would have been able to go to church and they would have told me what position I was gonna, it was a store manager position. So if they were gonna be able to tell me what store I was gonna be located at and being able to go to church, I just didn't have peace about it. And so I ended up getting another job offer at a hotel, but what they offered me was right at the poverty level. And for me, I was like, well, I have a college degree, for one, and for two, I was getting paid more than this as a college student working on campus. And so it just wasn't not working for me. And then on top of that, I would have had to pay for parking, and the parking was kind of a little ways away, and it was an unsafe walk to get from that parking to the building, and so it wasn't a good idea. So I turned that one down too. They actually, when I turned it down, they actually told me to come back and counter offer. I only raised it by like $2 or $3, just thinking, well, maybe if I still lowball it, they'll give me an opportunity. But they still felt that $2, $3 was still too much, and so it was a wrap for that. So I started, at the time I was still working on campus, part-time job on campus. They allow you to stay for so long after you graduate, but I knew that if I stayed, that I would be afraid to take a leap of faith, and I probably would never quit until I had to. And so I just decided that it was time for me to take a leap of faith, quit that job, and go work a permanent job for a temp agency. Not permanent, a full-time job, sorry, because like I said, it was a part-time job on campus. So I just decided to take a leap of faith, quit that job, and go take a full-time position with a temp agency at a warehouse. So I loved the position. I was one of the best people in my department. I was just one of the best performers just in general. Like, I was always, no matter where they sent me, what department they sent me to, I excelled. And so I really liked the position, but I knew that that's not where I was supposed to be. I knew that the warehouse wasn't where, it wasn't where I was meant to be. And so I applied for conversion to no longer work for the temp agency, but to work for the actual warehouse, and they approved me. Like, I was one of the very first people to be converted, or to be approved for conversion. And I did that as a backup plan, even though I didn't plan to stay. But I started working there at the end of October of 2016. The very beginning of January 2017, which is this year, they laid all the temp hires off, everybody. And so even the ones who had been approved for conversion, like myself. And a lot of people cried because they were like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do now. But for me, I had peace about it because it was emotional, because it was a lot of people that I was going to miss. But I was also kind of excited because I knew that meant that God had something else for me. And so how does this fit into what Alice was saying? So Alice was basically saying to pray for exactly what you want in a job. And she goes through and she explains how she prayed for a job she wanted, and she got everything that she was praying for. And so for me, again, I saw that video a year ago, and when I saw it, I started praying for what I wanted. Now, after this, after I was laid off of this warehouse job, I started applying for a lot of positions, but most of them were receptionist positions. And my aunt told me, why are you applying for receptionist positions? First of all, you have a college degree, which there's nothing wrong with a receptionist position, but there's not a lot of room for growth. And so she was like, apply for something else, apply for something that, either in your field or something that's really going to allow you to really move up and grow and have a lot of opportunity to move up and around. And so when this warehouse laid me off in January of 2017, which was earlier this year, as I said, I was kind of excited at first because I knew that it was an opportunity that God was going to open a new door. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm headed. And so I prayed for a specific, when I kept remembering Alice's video. And so I kept saying, okay, Lord, according to her video, I'm praying for a specific, salary. So I was like, Lord, I desire at least this certain amount. I prayed for a specific environment. I prayed for something that I liked, and was good at. And what was the last thing I prayed for? Environment, salary. Oh, and I prayed for specific days as well. And so I ended up, after a month, maybe a month and a half, I was starting to get a little worried because where I was staying at the time, I basically was being told, you need to find a job. Even though I had a savings account and I was able to help out financially, it was like, you need to find a job. And so I was kind of getting worried. I was like, oh, and I prayed for a specific date. That's another thing. And so I was like, okay, God, I need a job by, and this was February. This was the end of February that I really started to worry. And so I was like, Lord, I need a job by March 1st. And I need this specific salary in order to sustain myself. And I desire this type of environment so that I will enjoy my job. I desire a job that I'm going to like and that I'm good at, because I felt like if I wasn't good at it, then I was going to be miserable going to work, because I'd always be afraid that I'm going to get fired or something. And then again, like I said, I prayed for specific days that will allow me my weekends for 1 to Sundays to go to church, and then Saturdays to kind of relax. So of course, like I said, I'm praying these prayers based on Alice Webb's video. And so, like I said, I prayed these prayers, and literally somebody who I met them once in college but completely forgot they existed. They ended up working at the warehouse with me, and they reminded me of where they met me. And I was like, oh yeah, I do remember you. But then they left the warehouse long before I did, and they just reached out to me on LinkedIn one day and was like, hey, are you still looking for a job? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, hey, I work in this job in finance. I think you should apply. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I'm definitely going to apply, and I thought about what my aunt had said, like, you need to apply for something else, something that you have opportunities to grow and to move up. But even though I was telling him I was going to apply, I had no intentions on applying, because to me, that's not something I knew how to do. I don't know a lick of anything about finance. And so I was like, in my head, I know that I was like, I'm not going to apply. And I never did apply, but the HR representatives reached out to me. And so by them reaching out to me, I spoke to them one day, had an interview by Friday of that week. Literally the day after my interview, the next business day after my interview, I was offered the position. And I was excited about it at that point. And so fast forward, I have been working this position for 7.5 months. Not only did I get the salary I asked for, I got way more than what I asked for. I was kind of lowballing it because, like I said, I didn't know the area I was going to work in. So I was just like, Lord, I need at least this amount in order to make it. But I got way more than what I asked for. So that was the first prayer answered. I got the environment I prayed for. It's a very laid back, very comfortable place. I love it. Something I'm good at. I'm good at my job. And like I said, I love it. I got the days that I asked for. I work Monday through Friday. And the hours that I wanted. I'm not working crazy hours. So I got the hours, the days, and my start date was March 1st. So literally everything that I had prayed to God for, I received. And so I just wanted to encourage someone, and it's already at 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, start wrapping it up. But I just want to encourage someone to really pray and know and be in expectation. Don't just pray and like, okay, I pray this prayer, I don't know what's going to happen. No, be in expectation. If you are praying and you're saying, God, this is what I need. God knows what you need. He knows your heart. He knows your desire. He knows everything. So when you pray with the heart of expectation, knowing that he's going to do it. And it may not be what you expect. I literally was getting ready to miss out on a blessing because I wasn't going to apply because I thought I was going to hate it. Now here I am 7.5 months later. I love what I do. I got everything that I prayed for. And had I turned it down based on my perception of the position, I would have never received my blessing. And so, I'm gonna try to link Alice's video in the description. But yeah, just make sure that you not only are praying for what you desire, of course, let his will be done above everything, but pray for what you desire, and then to be an expectation that he's going to do it. Like I said, it may not be exactly what you expect. For me, I have a degree in journalism. I would have never expected to work in finance, but I love my position. I plan to move up in the industry. I love it. And yes, I still do things with my degree on the side. I still do journalism things on the side. But I work in finance and I absolutely love it. So always be in prayer, always be in expectation, and declare and decree the word of God for what you're praying for. So if whatever that the area is, so if it's finances, if it's job, declare the word. What does the word say about it? What is the word saying about God supplying? What is the word saying about provision? So declare the word and trust that God is going to do it because he will. And I'm a living testimony. And thank you, Alice Webb. Be blessed, you guys. Love you, and bye-bye.